Greetings and welcome back to another episode of Modeling on the Fly with 3ds Max. And as we jump back onto our AT-AT walker, you'll notice that I've turned it blue. There's no real rhyme or reason for that. I just got tired of staring at gray all the time. So in this video, I want to start working on this cannon that sits on the side here. Now, I'm going to be simplifying things a little bit for a lot of reasons. One, just to kind of get it done. Another reason, though, is that really the shape of this particular aspect of an AT-AT walker really changes very significantly based on who you're talking to. And it's like, here, that looks wildly different. Same idea, but the detail is very different than the one we just saw a second ago. So I'm just going to get something close. You'll be able to tell what it is, and then we'll just move on. So let's see here. Like even that looks really different than anything else that I've seen on some of the other models. So, you know, if it's one of those things where you just want to kind of build your own, hey, yeah, my blessing and my encouragement even. I'm going to build something fairly close to this. I like the really long kind of gun stick sticking out there. I think that looks really, really neat. So to help me do this, I'm actually going to build it over on the opposite side. It's just kind of a matter of preference. Well, I will from my perspective work anyway. For starters, though, let me begin not by making a user view, because we don't want to make a user view. What I want to do. Did you see what I just did? I actually undid my change to the view. That was terrible. I don't want to do that. There we go. Sorry, I got a little carried away. Now, I'm going to draw just a box over here. Some sort of rectangular thing, just to get me started. Now, proportion, all that kind of thing, placement, all that is just going to be based off what I can glean from pretty much this image. And I'm not even going to be going as detailed as this, but I'll get something close enough where, again, you'll be able to tell what's going on. So I'm going to start up here at the very top with this little smaller cannon. Oh, that's great. So let's get you, slide you up to about here. Now, changing around the overall size of this guy, let's pull back on the height just a little bit. In fact, I'm just curious about something. If we considered this rectangle to be the main body right here, we could keep this whole thing very, very simple. Yeah, I actually kind of like that idea. So let's see. So if we said that looked pretty good and fairly proportionate, maybe just take the width and pull that down just a little bit more. All right, now let's convert this over. All that just to make a box, right? Okay, now edges. F4 to show everything. We've got an edge here we don't really need just because of my settings, so I'll go ahead and remove that. Let's grab all these guys all together at once and do one great big chamfer. Pull that about like so. Now, I'm not going to worry about detail on the inside of this where it butts up against the side of the AT-AT walker. I just don't see a point. Let's grab this and we'll ring, do a connection, and let's connect by 2. Let's pinch those together a bit. Click OK. Switch to faces, get you and you, do an inset. That's fine. Click OK. Let's do a bevel off that. Go in a little and in a little. Okay, do an extrusion, like so. Okay. Now, back over here. Let's create a box with auto grid on, and we'll just fill it in here. And let's go ahead and kill off that extra length segment because we just don't need it. Let's switch over to an editable poly. We'll grab this guy and convert that to edges and get you and you and you and you. Do a quick chamfer and click OK. Alright, so what we've just done is we've built this kind of area, and it looks like we could make it a little longer. I'm leaving myself open to that sort of thing just by grabbing vertices and moving them around. So maybe we just grab this and slide it back a little ways. I mean, in the end, the whole thing... Sorry, my table creaks real loud. The whole thing may need to scale down when we're all done, but that's fine. adjusting shapes is very easy. So, boom. Now, we've got a couple of different layers of detail, and like I said, I want to get something kind of close. So, let's see. If we create... Let's do this little triangular piece kind of thing up here near the front, because that does look really cool. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to start off by making a cylinder with auto grid on. Let's just make it right here, put a little bit of height on it. Now, we're going to take our sides and just really crush that down. In fact, 3 is pretty much what I was going for, so we'll go with that. Slide this over, and we really need to pick up the height on it. So, larger height, and bigger radius. And then, let's just switch it over to an editable poly. We'll center this up, frame up on it. Let's switch over to vertices. We can take this vertex, slide it up, take this vertex, kick it down about like so. Actually, this whole thing probably needs to kind of butt up toward the end of this. So, boom. Now, is that flat, I ask you? And you tell me you don't know? Yeah, it is. So, boom, boom, boom. No problem. So let's do that. We'll just grab this face and let's run it in Y to flatten it out. That looks nice. Now we're going to switch over to edges. Give me this one edge here. Let's ring that. Let's chamfer. And we can add a segment or two to kind of help us out a little bit. Actually, let's do this separately. So we want to deselect this guy. Actually, cancel out entirely. Just give me these two. And then chamfer. And then let's click OK and do this guy separately. So we can pull that down. And click OK. Let's grab these two faces here, and let's just do a quick bevel. Like so. Now, to help kind of, show off certain things and hide others, let's grab a cylinder, and we'll put that in, give it a little bit of height. We'll take the sides back up, say to around 18. Let's play with the radius and the location. In fact, I'm also going to play with the height. So I'm going to take the whole thing and we'll just slide it all the way through. And we'll kind of end up getting some free detail on the other side, really. Convert, polygon, polygon. And bevel. Click OK, get out of there, and let's see here. We can make a copy here, and make a copy here. Now, let me do something real quick. Let's grab, this guy. Hello. Thank you. Now, if we do a soft selection, let's do shaded face toggle to kind of help me out a little bit. And maybe edge distance will be a little more cleaner for what I've got in mind. Frame up on this guy. Not so much. Let me try vertices and see if the vertices will give me what I'm actually going after here. And I'll just convert this over. So can I loop this? And then switch that over to vertices, and that gives me those, so we can kind of see what's going on there. Now, fall off. Pull that back a ways. That's pretty close. All I wanted to do is kind of round that out a little more. It's not precise by any means, but it's better than it was. Okay. So that just kind of straightens that up a little bit. Let's come back over here. Actually, you know what I'm going to do here? Grab you, slide you down. Let's just do that with everybody. Just going to make the radii a little bigger. Okay, so now that's coming along. Now, if we do this kind of plate thing underneath, and I'm going to really sort of simplify this down a bit, like so. Let's build a box, and then just for, I guess for sake of convenience more than anything else, I'm just going to build it with auto grid on right here. Because I don't really want it to keep those dimensions at all, but doing that puts it right where I want to play with it, so... We'll do this. Now let's adjust the width. Let's kind of center it up on the whole contraption. And I'll also change the height a little. Now let's convert this. I want to grab polys here and here, and I want to extrude these. We don't need self-selection anymore, so that can go away. So I'll extrude by polygon this time. And by just a little bit, click OK. Let's grab, let's see here. What I need to do is get a chamfer going. So let's get you, and we'll do a ring. We don't need this. Actually, faster to get this. And you, and you, and you. Convert that to edges. Lose that, lose that. Add you, add you, add you, add you, and you, and then drop these guys. Now let's do a chamfer. Okay. Get out of editable poly mode, give me one of these guys. Let's shift drag a copy back here, click OK, scale it down to kind of fit in there. Now, I want this guy, I want another copy of this to go up here. Okay, rotate. Oh, I need rotate snaps on. Nice. Right. Now, this guy, we're going to scale down. He doesn't need to be quite as wide as he is. And I'm going to shift drag a copy of it out, click OK, grab rotate, rotate it around 90 degrees, position it right here, snug it in a little bit, scale out. Boom. Oh, that was crazy. Now, let's quickly jump, grab an edge, we'll ring that, we'll connect it, just once is fine. Let's move the connection over here. Actually, let's do this a couple of times, why not? So let's connect twice. Click OK, that's fine where it is. Let's chamfer by nowhere near that much. Click OK, give me this and this, give me rings, convert those over to polygons, and let's just bevel those out by local normal. And there you go, so just a little bit of differentiation. Okay, we're almost where I want to be. Let's make a box. I'm going to run it pretty much the whole length of this back here, give it a little bit of thickness, and go ahead and convert it. Polygon, you... Actually, no. Not exactly. Let's instead go to edges, get this guy. Ring, connect, once is fine. Slide this back. 4, extrude. I'm just kind of racing through this one. And click OK, grab edges, let's slide this guy back a little bit. And let's see here, if I loop... Actually, let's do this first. Ring this guy. So we don't need to... You know what? We don't need these either. We don't need those bottom edges at all. We don't need you. Alright, let's just try this. So we chamfer just a little bit. Okay. We'll just slide that in, so penetrate that through like so, and let's see. Boom. And grab this little guy here, slide him up. And I'll extrude this again. Now, let's see here. If I click OK to that, grab these guys, and we did a bevel by local normal with just a little bit of height and a little bit of inset, just for some variation. Okay, cool. I'm all right with it so far. So now this just needs some sort of, well, whatever kind of gun that is, or launcher, or what have you. So here's how I'm going to do that. Let's grab a cylinder, and we'll drop it in right here, and give it just a little bit of height. Doesn't need much. Not for what I'm going to do anyway. Actually, well, yeah, let's not do negative height. I don't really feel like doing it that way. But we can take that height and really just crank it like crazy. Slide this over here. Run that height the rest of the way back out of the object. Now, if we switch over to this guy, let's grab edges. I really don't want soft selection on anymore, so that needs to go away. Grab this edge and close that. Let's ring this around. Let's connect this with 2 connections, and then we're going to pinch it apart like so. Now, let's see if I can do what I think I can do here. I think I say that a lot when I'm on these videos. I probably do, but you know, that's alright. Ooh, that's a lot of chamfer. So, let's see, just something kind of like this. Click OK. Grab this guy, we're going to slide it back. To about here. And that'll be fine. Now, let's grab this polygon by itself. We'll do an inset. I'm going to change the shape of that inset just a little bit. Actually, you know what? Let's just leave it alone. Just as it is. Yeah, I'm fine with it. But we do need to fix our smoothing groups because they're a little crazy right now. 45 might give me what I want. It probably will. Yeah, that'll be fine. Okay, so now back to this guy. This needs to be an editable poly. We need to grab this, frame up on it. Ooh, not with the front view. That's actually hitting the F key. That's another popular 3D package. We need to hit Z if we want to frame up on something. So let's slide this in like so, and then we're going to extrude it out a little bit. Actually, let's do a bevel. Bevel! Bevel out, and then out some more, and then we'll do a straight up extrusion. So I'll just do apply with no outline amount. Pull that back, and then apply, and then pull the height back. Let's press F4 so I can kind of see what these edges are doing. Pull that down, apply, no height, just negative outline, so it's like an inset. Apply, add height. I like the little bit of taper, but that's a little much. Apply, boom, boom, and then just put a little bit of rounding at the back. Now, so that is working. Let's see. Now, that's all well and good, I think, but I'm going to do something. We're going to slide this back in here and let that kind of sink into the shape. So that's just going to be the back now. I'm going to shift drag a copy of this face out here, clone it off to an object, and then use this to kind of recenter where this gun comes out. So let's get out of editable poly mode, grab just this little disc we've just made, and we'll pop this back in here. Scale it up so now I can make a larger sort of cannon shape. Do an extrusion. Say to about there. And click OK. Now let's take the whole thing and we'll sink it into the shape like so. Now, I don't know, some vanity stuff. What do you think? Let's put up, let's grab vertices, and we'll grab the old slice plane. Let's rotate this back, and slide it back to about here. In fact, we could make it a little more parallel with that triangle if we just really felt inclined to do so. Slice, now let's grab edges, get you. Ring, convert to polygons, and let's just do a little bit of a bevel by local normal. Well, let me cancel that. Yeah, let's do it this way. Let's just do an extrusion by local normal. And that's really crazy what that just was. So let's run that. That'll be okay. Now, I want to try something. Theoretically, this should work. If it doesn't, well, I'm not really out anything. Nothing that's going to hurt my feelings anyway. Let's ring, convert this over, and let's just try making that nice and planar. Okay, well, I got us started. So if I take all these and scale them down, we should get something that's pretty close to still being perfectly cylindrical, and it seems to be. So that's good. Now, if I go back to edges and we connect all these guys, and we can't really pinch, but I should be able to slide. So let's slide that in, click OK, grab this, ring it. Now this is probably finer of a detail than I need to be putting in. It's just something I want to do. And convert this over, and then extrude as a group. And is that... Okay, that's just the viewport being silly. And we'll just go with that, but then of course I'm going to slide all of this stuff down. Like so. We don't really need to go very far. Actually, you know what? Let me not do what I was just thinking I was going to do there. Let's just bevel this. So just a little bit of height and a little bit of outline. There we go. Now let's come back out here to our picture, and we just have this kind of extended open end on this, so we'll grab this polygon out here at the end, like so. Let's do a bevel. Of course, this will have just maybe a tiny amount of positive height, and then a larger outline, and then apply. This time we won't worry about outline. We'll just add to the height. And now we'll apply again, this time no height. Make an offset, apply again. And this time no outline, we'll just go inside a bit, and that'll probably be good. Now let's click OK, jump over to edges, we want you, and you. And let's do a chamfer. Actually, let's do a loop first. And then do a chamfer. Okay, let's grab the element. And we'll do about a 25-degree auto smooth. Alright. So there's that upper piece. That kind of thing. I mean, I suppose if you wanted to continue decorating it, add little tiny greebles all over it, you could. There's no reason why, you shouldn't. But I'm not gonna. Now, what I am gonna do, though, is build the little mount piece that kind of clicks this up, because this is like a smaller gun on top of a bigger gun. So let's build that. Now, I'm gonna start this off with another box that is auto-gridded into place for us. And I suppose, just to make my life easy right off the bat, I'm just going to convert this over to an editable poly. I'm going to grab this polygon, we'll slide this back a little bit, grab this polygon, and slide it out. This one, slide it out as well. And I'm going to kind of simplify what we see here by just a little bit. Yeah. Definitely. Now, we don't really know what's going on the back of this, so I'm totally going to make it up. In fact, we could go ahead and get that out of the way. Let's see here. If I grab, let's see, extended primitives, let's just do chamfer boxes, because they're fast and fun, right? So boom, and then out, and then pull in a little bit, and then boom, out, maybe a little thicker, and in a little bit. And I really don't want that many chamfer segments or fillet segments. I really don't. So let's grab this and set its fillet segments down as well. Let's go to local mode and let's push both of these down into the shape a little. We'll grab this guy and then just shift drag him down so there's another one. Now let's go over to, I don't know, standard primitives. We could probably cheat for what I'm thinking we're going to do here and use a torus. Let's just see if it works, right? Ooh, that was crazy. So there's a torus, and that's fine. And now let's play with its settings. So we'll boost the radius, increase radius 2. Now, sides and segments. Let's take our sides and pull that down to 4. And then we will twist that by 45 degrees. Not 15, but 45. And that almost worked, didn't it? Oh, I see what that does. That's twisting the whole thing. So there is no really nice, let's roll this thing around. Oh, that's okay. I was actually thinking like a spline, if you're familiar with what I'm talking about. And if you're not, that's cool too. Because that looks pretty good. We could probably just go with that. And let's make another copy of it back here. And there you go. Cool. Now, back to this shape. I'm going to grab an edge here. We've got okay, we got these two larger areas. This one isn't chamfered. It looks kind of like it's just kind of stuck through. I'm going to sort of omit that. So just as a heads up. So the way I'm going to do this is that we are going to... Well, let's start off by ringing these guys. Let's make a connection. And we'll do 2. And... Okay, I see what I want to do here. So we'll grab these two guys. Click OK. Grab you. Ring again. Make a new series of connections. Say right about there, I suppose. Now we're going to take these two and we're going to chamfer them like so. Now let's grab faces. So I want you... Oh, didn't mean to do that. That's right. Let's grab these guys. Make sure we get that chamfer in. Make sure we click OK before we get all carried away and do something else. Okay. Now let's grab faces and get you. Let's extrude these out. Not that far. Click OK. Let's go to edges, and I want this edge, this edge, this edge, and this edge. I want to turn on edge constraints. And then we're just going to slide these down. And then we get that kind of change in direction, which is pretty nifty. Now, a couple things. Let's go over here, grab these, and let's just do it over here too. We'll do it all at once. And we'll do an inset. Pull that in. Okay, let's do an extrusion that goes inward. Oh, pff. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Okay, that should be everybody. And then, oh, we just select from backface. Rah, 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 rah. It's like I think that on should be the default setting for that. Okay, so inset. But then, of course, nobody asked me. All right, and that looks good, so we'll apply that. And let's say cancel. So we got one application there. Now I'm going to do a tiny little extrusion. Just a little bit of a negative extrusion. Just a little bit. Like so. Click OK. Now let's get these faces by themselves. And we'll slide them forward a bit. Turn off edge constraint. Rawr. Okay. Now we'll grab these guys all by themselves. We'll slide them backward a little bit. Now let's get out of editable poly mode. Let's grab these little random greeble objects we've made here. And then let's do this. Let me go to world and let's go by object. Let's just shift drag these because they're double-sided shapes. They should just go just fine over here as well, since I don't figure anybody can look at one side and the other at the same time. We'll just leave that just like that. Okay, now that whole thing is probably a little bit undersized, I'm thinking. Or maybe this is too big. Let's see, if I pay attention. Yeah, I think my little cannon up here is actually a little bit oversized. Not that that's a big deal. We could just say, well, this one's bigger, and they need it for extra awesome rebel destruction. But what we're going to do, let's see here. If I could just group and scale the whole thing down as one. Let's just do that. So group, small cannon, and click OK. Now we can just take this whole thing and scale it down, 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 down. And just fit it in right there. Okay, now that's nicer. So now we can move on and start taking a look at this lower cannon, but we're kind of at a good spot where I could stop the video. So I'm going to go ahead and save it right here. I want to thank you guys for watching, and we will pick back up on the next episode of Modeling on the Fly with 3ds Max. Once again, a big thank you to all of our member sponsors because they are the reason we're doing this, and I'll catch you guys later.